Angels and Dreams. What the heck is he talking about? A book by Bertha McBride. Jealousy, love, and unhealthiness. The Torah can help, says Marion. Give me life, B'nai B'uvah says, repeating his motto. Valerie works on B'nai B'uvah's appearance, says Vora. Nantucket, says Rosalinda. Nantucket, says B'nai B'uvah. It's enough to drive you mad, says Kim, the neighbor. What is love? 'Tis not hereafter, says Shakespeare. Look up at the trees, says Robbie. Her? B'nai B'uvah? Uh-huh, says Kelly. If everybody, all humans, didn't try to forewarn me things, then it would be much better, says B'nai B'uvah. Billy, there's a problem with that. It's not everybody, says Tikbat. I know. There is a saving remnant, says B'nai B'uvah. Billy, put that, says Tikbat. Because I'm not as social and I don't circulate through people and recycle them, says B'nai B'uvah. That's why you feel tested, says Pekat. Physical people, says B'nai B'uvah. What can we put to make it sort of sad, says Jennifer. Helping out, changing daily, sayings and utterances, depending on what book I'm writing, or soon will be, says Marilyn. People become impatient for my attention, says B'nai B'uvah. That is what John told you to say, says Marilyn. I can't help it. I'm in heaven, says B'nai B'uvah. He, B'nai B'uvah, doesn't even know what he's reading, says Rosalinda. Connect all of our books together to find students to teach to make money, says Kelly. I don't like theory, says Harold Bloom. Make some goals. Zumba Dance Club plays our music. Sell books in Hawaii. MOAT. Flower MOAT. Read aloud, says Yitzhak Kavad. I want to get away from golden mold. You know I can do it, right? Says B'nai B'uvah. Isaac Babel's basketball perfection is isolation, says B'nai B'uvah. I don't see how doing what you say when I don't understand why I should do it makes me a better man, says B'nai B'uvah to Penelope. Maybe we should go at a basketball pace, says B'nai B'uvah. That sounds stupid, says Penelope. Are all metaphors stupid? Says B'nai B'uvah. Thinking about T.S. Eliot. Yes, that is what we were thinking, says Penelope. Up close and face to face is just ironical for communication, says Marva. To be loved, friends. To be famous, networking. To have less pain, stereotomy, says Kabbalah. Maybe it will come after like a reward for doing MOAT, says Marilyn. We can have professional meetings for MOAT, says Marilyn. What the heck are we going to do when my father loses his hearing, says Tom Tom. You don't know what the heck you're talking about, says Tom Tom. What the hell, says Tom Tom. What the heck is he talking about, says Tom Tom. The bleeding distance, says Marilyn. It's not bad, Sir Patrick Spence, Marva says. It's good, that's the problem, says Bora. For nature's aphorisms, A. Find our poetical matches. B. Facticity is applied. C. Activate top speed per camera word choices, says Teresa. Today is painful and bright, and the active passing of time quickens. A shake tastes sweet, and the developing of sharp pictures takes a while. The professional developing of pictures was done just right, and the caramel shake set down is finished. The reflective passing of time gives us comfortable memories, and today is praised and fun, says Pekat. A. Write first for. B. Take those four and was invented so that the two could whatever. 2 was made for 3, 3 for 4, and 4 for 1, says Teresa. When yellow roses adorn grassy fields, the little fields take them. The cool rain comes soon to pour, and its solid origin found, so that the cool rain that pours can be predicted. Cool, pouring rain, made to get the little friends taking the roses to go home. The little friends taking things were made to admire yellow roses in the field, and the roses in the field were grown to point to a solid origin in everyone's bright eyes, says Pecott. The confused idea, love, common, a straight dealing with a trouble beyond you, a kind fee collected, you earlier painfully owed, the owed sum spent, a fee asked of course, the restful dealings between acquaintances, the idea, love, and a clean reality, says Bertha. The commonly confused love all ideas alike. This straightest deal is beyond even the trouble, after a kind of fee is collected, since in earliness it is a pain to owe, and the owed sum is spent, from an asked for of course fee, dealings between acquaintances come to rest, reality really just as the clean lovings of all ideas alike, says Bertha. Seek hope, not knowledge, says Richard Rorty. Hope is really all that we need, says Bertha. The opposite of conflict is teaching, which is harmonious, says Ora Tiferet. Teaching may repulse, but it ends in consensus and is democratic, says Ora Tiferet. The hopeful colors of MOAT are tikbak, says Marilyn. Conflict is horseplay, thievery, and unwanted desires, like jealousy, etc., says Amy. Poor hope, says Elaine. Conflict is democracy against totalitarianism, says Pecott. Conflict is thus illiteracy, says Honey. Conflict is not an agon of or with literature to read, says Marilyn. Hope always imagines a better future for all or for the individual, says Teresa. Poor hope to be blind, says Anonymous. Dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope, says Robert Browning. Shelley's hope, love, and speed trio, says Honey. War is conflict, says Elaine. Peace is not conflict, says Ora. The breaking of the vessels is conflict in one way, says Ariel. Potpar's 5 wars, says Ora Tiferet. The war song of Genus Var, says Thomas Love Pecott. Make an outline, says Teresa. Once you are contained by the poem, it is as you are not as original, and that makes it a good bad poem or a bad good poem, says Pecott. Super boom! Jill kicks Billy's M's pinky to kick an imaginary ball out the window with the stupid thoughts, says Jill or Tiferet. I had another strange dream. Here are the details of what I can remember, says B'nai B'ruva. And there was my art by a dumpster. My mom drove us to see it. The art had been there for weeks. Nobody wanted it, and she was sad that it was still there. The car couldn't carry the art back, and we were far from home, I having come back to Hawaii. I went around a kind of castle. I went downstairs, leaving an important bag upstairs in the office building for Hawaiians. The rest is hard to remember, but the room I went in was something which gave me a feeling of danger. Some time passed. I went to another room where there was a kitchen and an open tan living room. I felt sophisticated, like my astral angel self. And there were some memories which came back to me there which were amazing. Some more time passed. I was taken by some men who brought me to a door. They were nice, and when they told me that the others within were mean, I became furious and yelled at the others and barged in. They said, "Okay, if you want to fight, we'll fight," and a man attacked me, and I felt real pain from his knife weapon. I met Robert M., and the fighting died down. Then everyone became friendly, and then men and men with women began having sex. I did not have sex with them. I went to wash my hands, and I saw a pornographic magazine open. I became aware that the magazine, was causing them to have sex, so I tore it in half and pitched it onto the floor. We all went upstairs in pairs, and I remembered I was with my team from long ago, but there were some lady partners. I embarrassedly told them, being their leader, that I needed my wives back. My wives were not the ones having sex with some of them earlier. I took out the trash with two of the men who acted like children. They opened the door to a kind of garage. I tossed one bag out there, and the wind sounded horrible. The garage was gray and gloomy. The men were very scared of that place. One told me that every time he would hear the wind like that, it reminded him of when his father would hit him. I was asked to go into this large garage with the garage bag. They accompanied me into the inside of their car. Jennifer, my cousin, and two other men were the ones who took and sat down with me in the stationary car in the garage in the gloom. My cousin said something, and I told her I would be waking soon. She told me that I would remember her name, and that I could begin writing down my dream. From the number 4, they counted down the seconds it took for me to awake. I woke outside of my mom's house in the dark, labored dramatically to return to the inside, yet another part of my overall dream. I went to a couch in the living room, and by it I found a pen by a Kindle. The weather report spoke of the recent hurricane, which was serious but was over somewhere else. The name of the hurricane was Gordon. I then awoke for real, and my spiritual Abba, Harold Bloom's astral self, told me that I didn't have to write down the dream since I was still sleepy. Yet he said there was a problem with the neighbors who were terribly fighting yesterday. He was seriously concerned that they had no hope. Then one of my invisible wives, angel wives, broke in, Pekot, to tell me that the dream was awesome, that I should write it down, and so I did, and this was it. She also said that my other spiritual Abba, Father Ravi, who was saying how awesome the dream was, never really saw it because he was using a box device for sophistication, one which takes what you know and are thinking in just the present moment and emits your emotions, to which an angel like him can respond to, as if he knew more information, as if he really saw the dream as my angel wives did. I love you, Papa, says B'nai B'rah. I love you too, Billy M., says Robbie. He's got a bot, says B'nai B'rah to Penelope. Uh-huh, says Penelope. I wish he had seen it, the dream, says B'nai B'rah. It will be okay, says Teresa.